How's it going, Fish fam? Welcome back or welcome in if this is your first time checking out the channel. We are back. Also, YouTube, very bad at notifications. So if you want to take an extra step and make sure you get notified whenever I actually do go live on Twitch and whenever I post on YouTube, then you should join the Discord. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. Okay. All right. Now that you have all taken the time to do that, we can officially get into the One Piece character tier list for Punk Hazard. It's gonna be pretty short because there's it's a pretty like self-contained arc. So yeah, let's just get into it. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get into it. First off, obviously, just I don't really feel the need to explain this at all. I don't feel the need to explain this at all. Okay? That's where he goes. Secondly, Tank Girl. Mid. Her. Oh, hold on. He's in the wrong tier. Sorry. I was wrong. I even said I'm not going to explain it, and I put him in the wrong tier in saying that. Okay. She's also just going in mid. She's going in mid. Okay? She's a mid-ass character. Yeah. Baited your ass. She's going in mid. Brownbeard? Also going in mid. Also going in mid. Listen, it's... I'm going to be real with you. Most of the new characters who are introduced in Punk Hazard are going in mid. That man got so abused. You know? He really did. And throughout all of that abuse, for pretty much the whole arc, he was supporting a war criminal. I will do my best to not do any spoilers. For the character tier list, it's probably not going to be very... I might accidentally say someone's powers or something like that, but other than that, I'm going to do my best to not have spoilers. I'm trying to think. I don't think there should be any spoilers, but this is your warning, Kevin. There might be. Oh, wait. Yeah, there's spoilers. Already on... I'm looking at the next person I have to rank. There's already spoilers for you. Yeah, there's already spoilers. Kevin, you might want to leave. You might want to leave, bro. That being said, I'm trying to think of where to put Brooke. Yeah, no, I thought about that the second I said it, and I was like, oh yeah, you're on fucking Water 7. You're 100% about to be spoiled. Oh yeah, look, Kevin, actually, you're going to be so spoiled if you stay here for more than the next minute and a half, actually. Let me scroll up immediately. Okay, I'm warning you right now, you're going to be spoiled if you stay here, Kevin. Okay. Brooke, I'm trying to think if Brooke did anything that warrants him being an aura farmer, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. I'm trying to yeah, no. I don't think so. I also I want to point out, I'm putting Brooke in this tier out of pure niceness at this point, because I only made this tier for the Yeti Cool brothers, because I thought it would be funny. But now I'm realizing Brooke kind of needs a tier in between. You know what I mean? He kind of needs a tier. This guy... He was so irrelevant, bro. He was so irrelevant. Brother did absolutely fuck all that whole arc. I mean, obviously he wasn't in the whole arc, but you know what I mean? Like, even the part where he was there, he did absolutely fucking nothing. Caesar Clown. I feel like I don't need to explain. Yeah, bro was literally an Uber. He was just being ridden by Doflamingo. Pause. He was being ridden by Doflamingo the whole time. That's all he contributed to the arc of the story, is just being ridden by Doflamingo. But yeah, Caesar Clown, obviously he goes there. Brother is a war criminal who is doing chemical weapons experimentation and drug trials on children to create child soldiers. Not a good guy. He's just not a good guy. So he is in the tier that he deserves. He's definitely in the tier that he deserves. Chopper. Chopper. Oh, hold on. I just realized I still have my my Twitch stream says that I'm doing Uma Musume stuff. Let me change that real quick. I don't want to give people the wrong idea, you know. I came in for the Uma stuff. Damn. Mario. You missed some Uma stuff, but potentially by the end of this, we're going to be back to doing some Uma stuff, okay? Potentially by the end of this, we're going to be back to doing some Uma stuff. It just depends on how long it takes to get through the Blue Lock manga. Chopper, S tier. S tier. This really was like, I feel like every arc of the story is basically like centered around one straw hat aside, or like 1 to 2 straw hats aside from Luffy. Are these spoilers? Yes. I mean, where are you in One Piece? If the answer is anywhere less than where I'm at, then yes. I just had to kick Kevin out, bro. But I like that haven't started. Bro, why are you doing this to yourself? Damn, Twitch hit me with the infinite ads, so I had to... Bro, the worst. Actually, there is one little trick if you want to get rid of those ads. All you have to do is use your Twitch Prime. Use your parents' Twitch Prime sub. But yeah, Chopper, S tier. I really liked that this was like a Chopper arc. I feel like we haven't had a Chopper arc of the story since Drum Island, and this was like a really heavy Chopper focused arc of the story, and I really like that, and I feel like he looked really good in this arc, you know. So S tier Chopper, S tier for Chopper this arc. He was MVP of the crew this arc, really. Doflamingo, fuck this guy. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put him above Caesar. And fuck this guy. Because first of all, Caesar's working for him. So all the horrific shit that I was talking about Caesar doing, he did all of that because Doflamingo told him to. First of all. Second of all, Doflamingo runs slave auctions. So, not a good dude. Not a good dude. It was pretty interesting to me that, like, throughout this arc, they kind of made it seem like there's going to be more to his character. They're going to be, like, revealing Doflamingo lore during Dressrosa, which haven't started yet, by the way. They're going to be revealing Doflamingo lore during Dressrosa. And I'm like, bro, I can't imagine what they would reveal that would make me feel bad for the guy who is greenlighting chemical weapons experimentation on child soldiers and is running slave auctions to make me like his character. It truly boggled my mind when I did my when I did my war character tier list and people voted for me to do a Doflamingo cosplay. That boggled my mind. I was like, the slavery guy? That's who you guys want me to cosplay? The slavery guy? It boggled my mind. But it is what it is. Okay, Frankie. Let me think. Because Frankie did not do a lot. He didn't do a lot. He was absent for most of the like bigger moments of the story. But he did also solo 2 Devil Root users. Yeah, Frankie didn't really do much like this whole arc. He was just kind of there. And even when he was there, it was like he wasn't really there. You know? I got to admit though, him being body swapped with Chopper was pretty great. That for what he did, bro, you're just like Robin. You're just like Robin, bro. You're like, don't ever make that face again in Chopper's body. She was so upset, dude. She was like, what are you doing, dude? Why are you doing this to Chopper right now? Don't ever do that again. Yeah, he just didn't do a lot. I'm trying to remember. I feel like, yeah, he was pretty absentee this whole arc. Bro literally said, let me hit that. Yeah, no, for real. Honestly, also, one thing I forgot to mention when I ranked Chopper, my favorite moments of this arc was literally Chopper being in Kung Fu Point. Kung Fu Point Chopper, just every 2 seconds, he could be just walking down a hallway. Just literally walking down a hallway. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Yeah, no, this was a Chopper arc for sure, and it was good. It was good. I like a Chopper arc. Kinemon not only like was he just aura farming for the sake of aura farming, but I feel like his whole personality is just built around him trying to look like a tough guy. You know? He's just kind of chief aura farmer. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I could put him anywhere else, but that's just, it feels like where he belongs. I did like when we got to the end of the arc though, and he kind of saw like how his attitude was negatively rubbing off on his son, and he's like, damn, maybe I should just maybe I should lighten up on some of this shit, you know? I did like that. It was kind of a like, we don't get to see a lot of like positive parental relationships in anime, One Piece in particular. So I like that when we got to the end of the arc and he's like, damn, my son is literally starving to death because he wants to imitate me trying to be a tough guy. Let me cool it with this shit a little bit, you know? So I did like that, but yeah, at the end of the day, he's strictly just an aura farmer, you know? Law brother. Holy. Like, I know obviously we pretty much just saw him getting his ass kicked towards the end of this arc, but like, I cannot fathom a more overpowered ability. Law might be one of the most overpowered characters, just like base level, that I've seen at this point in the show. Obviously, you know, I don't know, like, because like Logia people, they're like impervious to damage and shit like that, but like Law just seems, outside of the times where he strictly nerfs himself by, I don't know, maybe for instance, you know, removing his heart from his body and giving it to people so they can use it against him as a weapon. Outside of that, I feel like, how the fuck do you beat that character, you know? His ability just seems so overpowered, dude. So overpowered. Luffy. I genuinely don't know where to put Luffy right now. Let me think about this. Because he did... Bro. Yeah. He's an absolute fucking demon. I'm trying to think of where to put Luffy. I think... I don't know. He's... I think he just goes in S tier. I think he just goes in S tier off rip. I'm trying to think if there's a reason to put him lower, but I don't think there is. He's definitely not going above Law or Chopper. At least not for me. Obviously, yes, he had very cool fights. He got to like demonstrate how sick his power-ups were like post time skip. Like I feel like this was the first time since time skip that he really struggled. Obviously a lot happened on Fishman Island, but I feel like he wasn't really struggling. It seemed like based off of what he showed in this arc, dude, he wasn't really trying. He wasn't trying in Fishman Island at all, you know? He just strictly wasn't trying. So I feel like he just goes there. Also, I completely forgot to mention it when I was rating Doflamingo. Brother, he is also so powerful. He has he has the skywalking, he has his devil fruit, and he has Conqueror's Hockey. Bro, what the fuck? Brother is just blessed. Brother is just blessed. It's crazy. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, his crew had to tell him to lock in. Because he just, like, yeah. That was actually one of my favorite moments of the arc was Zoro just being like, hey, man, can you stop fucking around? Like, we got shit going on here, bro. I'm going to need you to lock in, bro. Obviously, my GOAT of this arc, if you watched my reactions, my GOAT of this arc, actually, I don't even know if my reaction to this has come out at the point that I'm streaming this yet. I think the next reaction that comes out, actually, like the one that comes out on Thursday of this week, is this episode. But Mocha, the GOAT of Punk Hazard, the absolute undeniable GOAT of this arc is Mocha. That is a 6-year-old child who was willing to kill herself in a video game. In case any Twitch admins are listening right now, this is a 6-year-old who is going to kill herself in a video game in order to save the lives of all of the other children who had chemical weapons experimentations done to them by Caesar. Bro, like, if you want to... Listen, I know at the beginning of this, and I always say, feel free to debate me in the comment. If you have a different opinion that Mocha should not be in GOAT tier, you're just strictly wrong. You're just wrong. At the end of the day, you're just wrong. That's where Mocha should be. Mocha's the GOAT. Mocha is just the GOAT of the arc, all right? Momonosuke, I mean, he's really not even there, bro. He's kind of irrelevant. He's kind of irrelevant. Monet, she's cool. She's cool. I mean, there's not much to say. Monet was ride or die for war criminals. So already not great. She's pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. I am now realizing that I am in fact ranking all of the cool people in the cool tier. I didn't even think about that when I put Brooke in there. That was just happenstance, actually. But yeah, Monet, whatever. And I know normally I have a tier for the baddies of the arc specifically. I wouldn't, even if I had that tier right now, I wouldn't even put Monet in there. I wouldn't put Monet in there. And I've already explained this several times to people in my videos and in Discord, but I'm gonna just say it again. She doesn't have hands, bro. You gotta have hands. I'm sorry. You have to have hands. That is a requirement for me. I don't care if that's ableist, bro. You gotta have hands. All right? You have to have hands to be a baddie, in my opinion. It is what it is. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Nami, yes. I can't comment on this on YouTube. yeah. Feel free to join the Discord. Nami, S tier. S tier. Like I said, this was kind of a like a two character arc, like two Straw Hat arc, Nami and Chopper. I know, like, when she first pulled up on the kids, she was super conflicted about the whole situation. Like, she was like, I don't think we can do anything. I think we just have to leave these kids. And then, you know, she saw, like, herself as Belmere in that situation. She's like, fuck, what would my mom do? She's like, my mom would help these kids. My mom would definitely help these kids. And she just, like, couldn't say no at that point, you know. And then you, to like even more solidify that, you know, we get to the end of the arc and Tashigi's like, yeah, I guarantee you I will take care of these kids. And she was like, you know, I haven't seen a Marine like you with that kind of look in a really long time, and I really appreciate it. And like her comparing Tashigi to Belmere in that moment, it was good. It was a good moment. It was a good moment. Yeah, exactly. Those kids were literally her and Nojiko, you know? It was a really cool full circle moment. It was literally like it had been like building to that exact moment since the East Blue. So it was just such a cool like full circle moment for Nami. So yeah, I really liked this arc for Nami and Chopper. Robin didn't really do shit. Robin was kind of non-existent, and she didn't even have any good outfits until they were leaving, you know? But that outfit when she was leaving, when she had the polar bear fit, that was a good fit. That was a good fit. I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to lie to you. That was a good fit. That was an excellent fit. But she was, other than that, pretty non-existent for the whole arc. I don't really think she did anything. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Robin did anything this whole arc. Yeah, I'm just going to put Robin top of mid. Honestly, top of mid. Sanji, Aura Farmer. Aura Farmer. I would really love to put my goat up here higher, but he just, like, I'm trying to think of honestly, actually, hold on. I'm talking myself out of this now. I'm talking myself into putting him into a higher tier. Let me think about this. Let me think about this. No. I mean, I would really like to put him higher. I mean, he had like a lot of really good moments as far as like the type of things that I really like to see from Sanji. Like his empathy and his understanding for other people and emotions. I feel like a lot of that came out during this arc as well, but I don't know. Too much of his storyline was Gooner bait this arc, I fear. Too much of his storyline was just Gooner bait, I think. Yeah, I feel like I can't put him higher than that. Actually, well, I can put him above. I can put him above Kinemon. Surely, I'll put him above Kinemon. He was vital in helping Mocha. True, true. I mean, you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that. He also saved Kinemon. Yeah, and he did become friends with G5. Yeah, G5 is lucky they're not on this tier list. They'd be ranked abysmally low. Abysmally low. But yeah, I think he just goes there. I think he just goes there. Unfortunately for my goat. He saved Tashigi. He fought Virgo one-on-one. Like I'm not saying he did nothing this whole arc, but I feel like he didn't do enough in my eyes to get ranked higher. And which is I think it's because I have higher expectations for my goat. You know what I mean? I have higher expectations for my goat. You know? I have a statue of the man. I expect him to be putting in more work than everyone else. This gas ball, I mean, it's not his fault, right? It's not his fault that he's a sentient ball of toxic mustard gas, you know? He just is what he is. Yeah, he just wasn't in the spotlight. He just wasn't in the spotlight. I feel like he had moments where he was in the spotlight, but they were pretty, like, few, you know? Like, he saved Kinemon, and he fought Virgo, and he saved Tashigi. Those were, like, the 3 big moments that he had, and I feel like all of those moments, just everyone else did more, you know? What was I talking? Oh yeah, Smiley, like honestly, Smiley just kind of an aura farmer. Like Smiley didn't really do anything. He didn't really do anything, but he just kind of was who he was, you know? Pause. Hella pause. Smiley just was who he was, you know? He has no control. He has no control over being mustard gas. He just is mustard gas, you know? Fight me on it. Fight me on it. Huh? Okay, that's where he goes. That's where he goes, all right? Listen. Not only is he one of the only Marines who's actually out there trying to do his goddamn job instead of just starting random conflicts and trying to, you know, kill civilians for funsies. He's out there actually doing work. He went toe-to-toe with his boss to fight corruption. And in that moment also, he knew he wasn't going to win that fight. He knew he couldn't beat Virgo. So instead of just trying to ego and take on Virgo, he made sure that Virgo would lose. He didn't care if he lost that fight, if he got his ass beat. He was like, I'm just do what I can to beat Virgo. Do what I can to protect my people. Do what I can to protect these kids. Even if it means, like, I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to face consequences at work. He was like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do the right thing to do. And I feel like the reason why he is such a good Marine is because of, his moral flexibility. Like, he's not strictly just bound to whatever the Marines, whatever the Navy, whatever the world government says is inherently the right thing. He just does the right thing. Even if it means, he's potentially going to be, facing negative consequences or something like, even if it means, I might potentially die and Virgo's going to kill me. He doesn't care about any of that shit. He's like, I'm going to just do the thing that I know is right and helps the most amount of people. I don't care about anything else. Even if it means with he has to side with his fucking mortal enemy that he's been trying to kill for over 2 years at this point. He's like, yeah, I don't care. He's the one who's doing the correct thing and trying to save these kids. So yeah, G5, help the Straw Hats save those kids. Yeah. Smoker, my goat. Tashigi, you did get your ass beat once again. You did get your ass beat once again. You did have to be rescued and almost wasted the sacrifice of the... If Sanji wasn't there, Tashigi probably would have gotten clapped trying to save those members of G5 who were already dead. Or I guess not necessarily dead, but, she would have gotten clapped. We'll just say it like it is. She would have gotten clapped if Sanji wasn't there. And then she would have gotten clapped if Zoro wasn't there. But I really appreciate the moment, like, at the end with her and Nami, but I don't feel like that really does enough, She goes above Robin, though. She goes above Robin. She goes above Robin for sure. Usopp. Was Usopp there? Did Usopp do anything? Does anyone remember Usopp being in this arc out of curiosity? Anyone at all? I know he closed the doors. He closed the doors when they were escaping. But even then, the whole island was already covered in gas. So it's like, did that even matter? And then we immediately went outside. Yeah, bro. I really hate to do this. I really hate to do this to him. Dude, that he made the boat. Yeah, that's true. He did make a boat. But yeah. Yeah. Unfortunate for him, but Virgo, like, in all honesty, I kind of want to put Virgo down here, but I also want to put him up here. Nah, actually, he did cover up the kidnapping of children for weapons experiments. Yeah, he did directly cover up and lie to the parents of children who their kids were kidnapped for weapons experiments. So, actually, fuck that guy. I was considering putting him in Aura Farmer just because, he had his cool moment where he was squaring off with Sanji and then he was, fighting Smoker and Law at the same time. But now that I think about it, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. He was covering up the kidnapping of children for weapons experimentation. So yeah, fuck that guy. Cool. They were cool. They were cool. Actually, no, they were topical. They were cool. They were cool. Then Zoro, I really hate to do this. Dude, I hate doing this. I have to put him above Sanji this arc. I hate doing this, but I have to put Zoro above Sanji this arc. I really wish I wasn't doing that right now. But Zoro just has to go above Sanji. Listen, you win this round, Zoro Glazers. Okay? You guys win this round. It's not going to happen again. It's not going to happen again. But yeah, no. Zoro literally having to be the one to tell Luffy, hey man, lock the fuck in. We got shit we're doing right now. We need you to be serious, you know? Zoro being the one to like get Luffy to put his head on straight. And also, you know, Zoro had cool moments. He did pull a Ryuma. He did pull a Ryuma at the very beginning of the arc. That was very cool of him. That was very cool of him. He did do a Ryuma. I like how also he did that. And then when they're being chased around by a different dragon, he's just like sitting there relaxing. He's like, yeah, you guys figure it out. I'm just going to chill. It's like, you guys handle that. I'm going to be over here. I'm just going to be hanging out. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. There it is. Yeah, that one was too small. Yeah, for sure. All right. Fish fam. That is it. The official Punk Hazard One Piece character tier list. That's it. My goats, Mocha and Smoker. Obviously. Top of S tier, Chopper. Highest rated Straw Hat, Chopper. Lowest rated Straw Hat, I think to no one's surprise, Usopp. It's not my fault. Listen, I would love to rate him higher. You guys know my thoughts on Usopp. I would love to rate him higher, but I can't. There's simply no reason to. That's where he goes. That's where he belongs. Usopp. That's right. But yeah, if y'all disagree with me, like I said, fight me in the comments, okay? Fight me in the comments. But that's going to be it for this one. If you want to make sure that you are in Twitch chat hanging out during the next character tier list live stream, then join the Discord or follow me on Twitch or subscribe here on YouTube, all right? Do one of those three so that way you get notified whenever I go live on Twitch and post videos on YouTube. Do things like that, all right? But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you guys in Dressrosa. All right? Peace.